All right. Well, welcome aboard, everyone. Today is a special day. As you can see, things are a little different today. We are celebrating episode 100. Yeah! All right. Woo! Welcome to the Fixed Blood Sugar webinar. Just another day at the Barton household here. As you can see, we have a few special guests with us. Dr. Saunders, I don't know how to point. Dr. Saunders over here. Is it showing up the same? Let's see, Cheryl right here. And over here is Nick, our CFO data guy. And down below me, below Cheryl, is Cedric, my son, and our graphic and video editor and social media. And of course, the star of the show right here. Like down there. Hey. And who else do we have here? Kevin is hiding. There he is, right here. And Amanda, my wife. And Kevin's wife, Shannon. Yeah. And if it weren't for our wives, we'd probably be dead. But Tyler! Yeah, sorry, Tyler. Play that thing again for us, could you? He's really good at playing the shaker stick. I practiced all week. Oh boy! And Tyler is Leslie's husband. Yay! They're strategically separated from each other for some reason, as is Amanda and I. I don't know why. I do have a bit of a cough. It wasn't the Rona, right, Dr. Saunders?
It's the Corona.
Pretty sure it wasn't. There's another call from Arizona on our house phone. Yep. Anyways, we just wanted to celebrate a little extra today. It is episode 100, so 2 years ago or so, we started this. Well, it was pretty much 2 years ago this month.
2 years ago.
Yeah. And we had talked about doing something like this for in the past, and we talked about it and said, yeah, that's a good idea, but we never actually did it. But this time we actually did it, stuck to it, and quickly realized like this is probably one of the best things we've ever done as a company. And so we've got these little, my team made these fun little, how do I do this? There we go. Heads of me and stuff. But one of them is our core values, which is honor God, help people, get stuff done right, positude, and practice what we preach. So this webinar started because we wanted to help people more. And I think we've done a pretty good job with that, as we've seen a lot of people, including many of you that are watching right now, that have been helped a lot in your life with better health and all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. Awesome. So this is really for you guys, and we love to spend this time together. And every episode, do questions and answers that Dr. Saunders helps with relating to type 2 diabetes or other things like coughs or the Rona. But usually type 2 diabetes. And so oh man, I wish we had a count for how many questions we've answered, but I bet we've averaged, what, 20 per, probably 20 to 25 questions per, actually probably more than that. So we probably answered 3,000 questions over the last 2 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. And some of them are, the same that we've had in the past. So a quick plug, if you're not already familiar with how this works. So bartonwebinar.com is where we kind of have all of our resources. That's where you can register to join us live on Zoom every Thursday at 11 a.m. Central Time. And you can, if you're with us live, you can ask your questions in the Q&A section. And then we also love to hear from you guys in the chat. Say hello, tell us where you're from, tell us how you're doing. And we have a lot of people that watch us and join us every week. Love to have it. We've made some good friends. And yeah, testimonials are great to share. People get encouraged to see that and know that if someone else can do it, then maybe I can too. And so we've had people with A1C levels of 11 and 12 go down to under 6 in the 5 range in a short amount of time using the strategies in the diabetes solution kit, which I don't have in front of me right now, but that's okay. And other things. Hey, Cheryl's got one. Is Cheryl on camera still? We all good? All right, there it is. Yes, and our supplements. Anyone have a bottle of Synachroma sitting around? I bet Cheryl does. All right. So, hey, look, it's Anders Barton on the team chat here. Hey, Barton team, happy 100th from the coaching center. Awesome. So Anders is my oldest son, and we're proud of him. He is down in Texas with our health coaching team, and he calls all our customers. Yeah, let's give a shout out to our coaching team. Did we do this for raindrops too and something recently? Yeah. So everybody down at WebForce, we love you guys and appreciate you and all the people that you've helped. We hear some amazing stories from them as well. So they help people put game plans together and connect people with our awesome supplements. And so we really have a great team. So it's fun to celebrate together. And glad that you guys joined us. So we've got a good amount of people. We're getting close now, not super close to max capacity here, but we're getting there. So looking forward to our call today. We're going to get into questions and answers as we usually do. And but if you guys have any questions beyond diabetes, like about our company or people or Tyler's favorite, putting grip stance or anything like that, as a former
you can help with your golf swing today.
That's right.
One day only.
That's right. We're open to anything today. So, but we do want to spend a good chunk of time helping you guys, as usual, learn about type 2 and get your questions answered. So, Leslie, anything I'm missing, or what do you think?
We just have a lot of people on here right now saying hello. Brian, I got a really good email from Brian that I'm excited to share with you guys. Grace was in our fair state of South Dakota. It looks like traveling. Went through, to see the Missouri River and Mount Rushmore.
Nice. Probably drove like 3 miles away from our house here. So
yeah.
Not far from I-90.
Yeah, a lot of people. Brian wouldn't miss our 100th episode. He missed 99.5, but he watched it last night. And so that was on osteoporosis. He said it's already helped his family.
Yeah, good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, that was great. That was a good one. I had to watch that yesterday myself as well. So I didn't know that meant holes in the bones or something. Holy bones. Mm-hmm. So is that why they kept good care of Moses and Joseph's bones back in Israel? They were holy.
Well, that's right. They took them out of Egypt and brought them into Israel. That's funny. And then Ezekiel saw all the bones, scattered all over the
my bones.
earth. Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to read that email from Brian, or is that later?
Later.
Okay. We may have another special guest here. Let's see. Yeah, she looks like she's a little preoccupied. Might be a little later. So
she might come later though.
Yep. Might be there. So Dr. Saunders, a huge shout out to Dr. Saunders, you guys. 100.
Yeah.
We love you, Dr. Saunders. You're awesome. And
yeah.
Let's turn the mic over to you. What do you have to say about these last 100 episodes and all of this stuff?
Well, I was just thinking about it. I'm the most consistent one on here. I've actually missed only 2 episodes out of the 100. I think only 1 really. Anyway, it's been really good the way we've structured it to go every other one is a side topic, and then every other one is diabetes itself and going over it. Yesterday, I had somebody ask me who's on our program and is doing phase 1, and he's my patient too. I see him on Zoom, and he said, well, I have one question. What exactly is insulin resistance? He didn't know what insulin resistance was. So I explained it to him that when your cells fill up with too much sugar, then they block the insulin, so the insulin receptors, so no more sugar gets in. They just block them. And if you have 50% of them blocked, you have a little bit of insulin resistance. If you have 75% of them blocked, you have a lot of insulin resistance. If they're all blocked, then everything you eat is just going to be, all the sugar is just going to stay in your blood. It can't get into any cells. So, and he's like, oh, I get that. That's easy. Anyway, it's been a lot of fun. It's been, I love the information. I love the questions. I've been stumped several times with questions I didn't know the answer to. Had to look them up and come back later. Okay, that's the answer. I love doing that. That's how I learn.
Yeah.
Dr. Scott, do you have a Kodak moment, or is there an episode or a portion of an episode that really stands out to you?
Well, the first time when I was thinking, how can I find a good analogy? And I read this analogy of the sink overflowing, representing the sugar spilling into the urine. Then that's what diabetes means, peeing too much because there's sugar in the urine. I like that. So that first time we used that analogy of the sink overflowing, representing your sugar getting too high and overflowing into your urine, and how all of the drugs, including insulin, are just mopping up that sugar as your sink overflows. You're just mopping it up, and working harder and getting more mops, and it doesn't make any sense. And all you got to do is turn off the water, duh, And that's what our phase 1 program is. So that episode, when we first explained that was clearly a standout. That was like, yes. Oh yeah, obvious.
Agreed.
Yeah. Yeah, we've referred to that many times. It's very helpful. And I asked you just yesterday, what is metformin in that analogy? Because you've talked about insulin as being like the mop that cleans up the floor, but it's still, the sink is still overflowing. And so you still have to mop all the time, as opposed to just turning the sink off. And you said metformin is the same as the mop, basically. It's just cleaning up the excess a little bit, but it's not really doing anything for the root problem.
Yeah, just another mop.
Yeah.
All the drugs are mops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about a lot lately, like our country and our world is in a bit of like it's become divisive with vaccines and that. And I kind of feel like the people that don't want the vaccines probably are more mistrusting of big pharma, and like there's definitely some things that medicine has helped us with as a society, but then I think everyone sees that if you watch TV at all, you'll see like 8 drug commercials come on, and they're a minute or a minute and a half long, because half the time they're talking about the side effects. And we hear a lot of people that talk about how they don't like the side effects that come from metformin or other things like that. And that's really one of the driving forces for our company, is trying to help people to get off of their drugs and medications and that. But it can be a challenge sometimes, really, just like it's almost too polar opposite. Like you either trust big medicine, big pharma, and like they are the experts, or you really have learned for some reason not to really trust them. And so that's been an interesting, I don't know, illumination for me to realize that, like, but I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Saunders? Is that just the way some people are wired? Like they trust doctors and science and they aren't going to think twice? Or do you see people that maybe did at one point, but then eventually they're like, you know what? I don't think this really makes a whole lot of sense.
I've seen it both ways, actually. Some people, they start off really resistant. No, I never want to go on insulin. And we test them, and their pancreas doesn't make any insulin. So I'm like, you need insulin. You have to have it. Yeah, you know, it's not a good treatment for type 2 diabetes, but it's a great treatment for type 1 diabetes.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've seen it that way. And then I've seen it the other way too, where people who are like, they come in to see me because I just can't stand this being on these medications. I don't have any energy. I can't function. And one of them was just yesterday was having so much cramping in his legs, especially, but in his muscles, until he got off the cholesterol medications. And so he got off and he goes, wow, you know, I got energy and I don't have cramping anymore. So yeah, I've seen it both ways. And so you have to look at drugs are a tool. And if the tool is used properly, it's a great tool. And if it's not used properly, it's a terrible tool. It can be very destructive. Mm-hmm. So the proper use of it, when you need insulin, you take your insulin. And when you don't need insulin, for heaven's sakes, get off it. It causes more damage. And so using all of these tools for the right people at the right time in the right way is really the way it is. The problem is that in medical school, we're not taught exactly what the right way is. We're, you know, diabetes is diabetes is diabetes, and it's too much sugar, when really one of them is too much insulin and one of them is not enough insulin. So in a sense, they're opposite diseases, and yet we're taught that it's the same thing. So a lot of doctors don't really know what to do with how to properly use the tools.
Yeah. I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Kevin. Kevin's got an announcement for us on a little giveaway contest. So if you want to sit here or
yes,
yeah, absolutely. Come on in here, Kevin.
Right. Well, we are so super excited. You know, we want to pass on the excitement to you guys in any way that we can. So I think that Joe is going to share in a little bit about an offer that we're making that is a very, very generous offer to everybody who is watching today, and is only going to be available to those of you that are on the webinar today. Speaking of Joe, I'm seeing double. But we have going on right now a giveaway. We're giving away several $100 gift certificates to you guys. And the way to register or to get into the giveaway is by going to bartonpublishing.com/win. So bartonpublishing.com/win. Like, you can even go there now. Go there now while you're watching to make sure that you get signed up for this. Now, the cool thing is that this isn't like a one-time sign up. You can actually get several opportunities to register for the giveaway. And so today you could actually even get, I think, like 15 opportunities to do it. And you do it by going to that page, and it's going to say, hey, visit our website, bartonpublishing.com. And then when you click that and go to the website, you get 10 entries right there. And then if you click to go to our Facebook page, if you want to do that, you'll get a couple more entries there. So you have lots of opportunities every day actually to come back and get more entries. And I can tell you, we did a giveaway last month, and there were a couple ladies that won it. And I noticed that they came back several days during the month. So it increased their chances to win, and they won. So anyway, get signed up, bartonpublishing.com/win. And we're looking forward to, I think we've got a 5-day countdown on that. So over the next 5 days, you can come back and register. So
how many of those shopping sprees? Yeah, how many of those shopping sprees are we going to give away?
That is a great question. How many shopping sprees do we want to give away?
I think 10.
All right, we're going to give away 10 of those. Wow. 10. That's like $1,000 that we're giving away. Yeah. And, you know, depending on how many people win, you know, I always say like, you can't win if you don't sign up, right? And there was this one time I remember I was like, you know what, I'm going to sign up for this. I could have just passed by it, and I was like, I'm going to sign up for this thing to win. And sure enough, I won. And I was like, everybody says I've never won anything, so I'm not even going to try. Right. But just try. You know, you get lots of opportunities here. So we're looking forward to giving away those prizes here very soon. All right.
All right.
I'll give it back to Joe.
Did we get that coupon code set up?
Yes,
yet?
it is set up.
It is. Okay.
Do you want?
I will announce this.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
all right. So another giveaway for you guys today. So you guys are probably familiar with some of our products. There's Synachroma, which is our blood sugar supplement. We have Nervala, which is for nerve pain, neuropathy. And we have turmeric BP, which is for inflammation. And we have many other products as well. Healthy gut support for digestion, and lean ACV for weight loss and appetite control. Magnesium, what else? Reflux, iodine, immune support. Thank you, Nick. So here's the deal. The coupon code is webinar 100.
Episode 100.
Episode 100. Coupon code episode 100. And you can save $100 off of any purchase over $150, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
spend $150, you get $100 off, so you're only paying $50 for $150 worth of product. So
Yeah, we're like giving away money here.
yeah, we're not making anything on that, that's for sure. But this is a thank you gift to our attendees, and this is only good for today. Like, this is going to be taken down. So if you're watching this on YouTube, sorry, Charlie, you should have been with us live on Zoom. So,
Darn Charlie.
Charlie, that's your dog's name
That
too.
is true.
Yeah. So, episode 100, save $100 off any purchase, $150 or more. Go to bartonnutrition.com to use that, or bartonpublishing.com, but bartonnutrition.com is probably where you want to go.
Where it is. Yep.
bartonnutrition.com. And what?
There's coupon code.
Coupon code is episode 100. And there you go. Spend $150, get $100 off. Boom. Best.
Yes.
That's the best deal we've ever given in the history of our company.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we want to give that to you guys. Get whatever products you want, enjoy, and God bless you guys. All right, I think we should get to some questions here. I'm going to hand things over to Leslie. I'm going to mute myself. No, I don't need to mute myself. Just, you know what to do. We've done this 100 times now.
All right, I'm just gonna have to yell loud because I'm a little bit factored for this, but okay. So question from Anku. Anku, welcome back. Let's see. Greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Dr. Saunders, good morning. When I test my fasting blood sugar reading at the time, I wake up from bed and it reads anywhere between 74 to 90. Still fasting when I check again after 3 to 4 hours and the reading changes. For example, when I checked this morning around 6 a.m., my fasting sugar was 91. But at 11:45, I was still fasting, though I drank some water before I checked it again, and it came to 123. Keto diet has brought me far, so what might be the reason? Am I doing something wrong? Thank you very much, sir, for what you do.
Okay, you're not doing anything wrong. This is actually, those are all normal numbers. They're really good. There's just a lot of things that are involved in how your level of blood sugar. So how high it goes and whatever. So when you first get up and you're fasting, and that is between 70 and 90, those are perfect. That's exactly where it's supposed to be. But it's going to go up when you first wake up. So you wake up and your adrenal hormones are going up. And then as soon as you wake up, you have an awakening response of your adrenal glands. And you make this extra cortisol in the morning. And that makes you a little bit insulin resistant. So your blood sugar will go up a little higher. That's perfectly fine, perfectly normal. In fact, it's great. So those numbers that you're talking about, the waking up 70 to 90, and then and then a little later it goes up to 123. It doesn't mean you have to have eaten anything, because the glucagon is going to cause your liver to put out extra sugar, and that's part of the awakening response. So there's a lot of things that are involved in how high your blood sugar is. It's so much more than just I eat something, my blood sugar goes up. I don't eat something, my blood sugar goes down. To some extent, of course, that's one factor, but there's a lot more than that. A lot of hormones, and your body needs to keep, at least that 70 needs to keep a level of sugar pretty tight all the time. You can't let it drop low, because your brain needs a constant supply, your heart needs a constant supply, your kidneys need a constant supply.
Okay, we interrupt this program to introduce a few of the kids that were out swimming in the pool quick. So, kids, say hello.
Hi. Hi.
I think Ethan may have just gotten stung by a wasp.
Oh no.
So apologies there. You must be really
Injury
tasty.
time.
Again?
Yeah. So, hi kids. You might recognize Sayla here. She's kind of a star of our YouTube and Facebook ads, some of them.
Hi.
Yeah, Sayla! Yeah. All right. You guys have anything to say? You want to share?
Anything you want to
We're
say?
celebrating episode 100. What do you think?
Happy episode 100.
Mm-hmm.
Good. You got anything?
Happy episode 100.
Yeah. And, all right. Let's hear it for the kids. Woo! All right. Go ahead. All right. Of course. All right. Back to you.
Okay. Oh. All right. Okay, so question for Dr. Saunders. This is from Rapat. He's just wondering if you have any office locations by LA.
You want to come and go downstairs?
Office locations where?
Like by Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. Well, Santa Barbara, yeah, Goleta, and then Solvang, my office.
Yeah, so you can definitely, if you're able to get, to get there, you can make an appointment with him too. Let's see here. Okay, first time attendee helping to celebrate your 100. That's from Pat.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes. Welcome. Glad you're with us.
Meg is back. Thanks, Scott. You make a big difference in people's lives, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you as my readily available diabetes resource. We all learn together. That's awesome.
Yes, we do.
Let's see. Connie is on. She says, can having your diabetes hanging around in the 200s cause your legs and ankles and feet to swell? Doctor gave me water pills, but they didn't seem to help much.
Okay, there's several possible reasons for ankle swelling, and the diabetes by itself or high blood sugar is not necessarily going to do that. If the blood sugar is in the 200s, you'll tend to have more dehydration, because your kidneys will, in the process of getting rid of the excess sugar when it's over 200, will also get rid of excess water. So that's the diuretic probably isn't going to be very useful in that kind of a case. What's going to be most beneficial is not the blood sugar, but if they're swelling, then checking your veins. So the most likely thing is when it's warm out, your veins, all your blood vessels will tend to dilate more. And when they do, they tend to be more leaky. And when they're more leaky, then you tend to get water in the tissues more easily. So just the warm weather is enough to dilate the blood vessels and cause more swelling. Having enough protein in your diet and getting enough salt in your diet to keep the blood volume up is a good idea. But some people need to be careful not to be sitting all day long, because sitting creates pressure on the veins and they dilate more. Some people need to wear those tight stockings, the Job stockings, or the old lady stockings, to put pressure, to put back pressure on those veins to actually push the fluid back in. Exercise is very helpful. And then if you have persistent swelling, there's a couple of supplements you can take. One is called horse chestnut seed extract. Now, horse chestnut seed has bioflavonoids that keep the that keep the water, keep tension in the veins. And there's something else, an anti-inflammatory, that's called pycnogenol. It's a maritime pine bark extract. And those two supplements will actually help prevent this swelling, or improve or decrease the swelling if you already have it.
Right. Now we have a question from Robert. What about dark chocolate? Is it good for type 2 diabetes? And how about for prostate issues?
Dark chocolate is wonderful. It tastes great. Beyond that, there isn't a whole lot. So one of the issues with chocolate generally is that it has the sugar. Even the dark chocolate has some sugar in it. And then it has the sugar-fat combination. And the fat-sugar combination is not really good. So if you occasionally have dark chocolate, then that's not an issue. If you consistently have dark chocolate, then it can become an issue. So if you eat it occasionally because it tastes good, that's fine. But don't expect like your prostate's going to get better or your diabetes is going to get better because you eat dark chocolate. That's not really a thing.
Joe's eating chocolate.
Somebody just had to say chocolate and Joe was in.
Joe.
It is the low carb kind.
Oh.
It's good. If you're going to have chocolate, do one with one net carb.
Wow, that's
One
a
net
card. Wow.
One net carb. It's got erythritol, 11 grams of protein,
Really?
4 grams of sugar or fiber, Dr. Saunders. I know you like
4 grams of fiber. Yeah, so
erythritol. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
So in order to get your 40 grams of fiber, you just need 10 of them a day. You're good.
I don't think of that. That's a great
Don't tell him
solution.
that.
Is that a prescription? Yeah.
I think Eric has joined us. Is he going to make an appearance on camera?
Dun, dun, dun.
There
Hey! Hey!
Hi.
Better go to gallery.
he is.
I had the wrong time. Sorry.
Ah, well, it is confusing now that you moved,
Yeah.
down the road.
Central time to Central time.
Well, welcome. Eric is our behind-the-scenes web developer and shopping cart expert, and what else? I mean, pretty much everything.
Great guy.
All around great guy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty great yourselves. So.
Well, we agree with that. So we are very humble. I'm probably the humblest person I know, as my wife would agree. All right, back to the questions.
There's a note from Chris Hornman in the chat on the bottom of your.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Chris. Okay. Chris, are you ready? We got to give him access to the video. I warned him. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right, Chris, we got something for you. We talked about this earlier. If you, Leslie's hooking you up here, so we need filler time. Someone tell us a joke. You got a good dad joke, Kevin?
Q&A. Who's Chris?
No.
Well, there was a question. There was a question about the ivermectin that I would like to address.
Oh yeah.
It's not for diabetes, but there is a lot of really good research on the use of ivermectin as an antibiotic for coronavirus. Ivermectin is generally used for parasites of various kinds, including scabies and pinworms and other kinds of parasites. However, it's been shown that the ivermectin binds to the spike protein, and not only does it prevent infection by holding onto the spike protein and preventing the spike protein from allowing the virus to get in the cells, so it initially works, but the spike protein is the toxin that's causing all the damage in your body, that's causing the heart problems and the lung problems and low blood pressure and all these issues. So since it binds the spike protein, it also prevents the symptoms. So it works in both ways. Very useful. I've had many people that I've put on it that are of course all better, but some of them like immediately got improvement. So yes, ivermectin did the use of it. If you go to FLCCC, that's frontline doctors, whatever it is. I don't know what the CCC is. And if you, they have a protocol that and these are the people that testified in front of Congress on this issue. And their protocol is the right one. So I think that would be a good thing to know, so that you could get your doctor to prescribe it for you.
And if they don't, there's a workaround, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a workaround. The FLCCC actually has a link access where you can get an online physician to prescribe it for you. And the other workaround is, don't tell anyone I said this, but there are veterinary uses of ivermectin for the exact same issue. You know, animals get worms too, and they have to have their worms cleaned out, and they're cleaned out by the same thing, ivermectin. So I had one of my patients, I said, well, you know, you can get it at the store without a prescription, at the feed store without a prescription. And she said, I'm not using something that's for animals. And I'm like, what are you? You know,
I'm going to get them. So make sure you get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're trying to get Chris on video here.
Well, I'm going to make him a co-host, and I think that'll do it.
Oh, okay.
That'll do it.
Now Chris is a co-host. All right, Chris, does your video work? We're trying to
Sounds like the audio doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I could FaceTime him and then hold him up to the camera, maybe. That could possibly work. We're working on this. Is there another question we can get going here?
I'll read a comment from Brian Z. I have a funny story. Med assistant from my surgeon called to tell me to stop taking metformin before surgery. Apparently, that is bad. Well, I told her I stopped taking metformin back in May. She was surprised and asked why. I told her I took my A1C from 13.4 to 5.3, and my blood test last week showed 5.2. She said, wow, how did you do that? I said, diet, exercise, and supplements. Then she said, you should write a book. I laughed and I said, I already have the book.
That is a funny story.
Who was that from?
Brian Z.
Oh, yes.
Awesome, Brian.
All right, Brian. Love to hear
There
it.
you go.
That's awesome.
So is metformin bad for surgeries then, Dr. Scott?
No, not by itself. What they worry about is that when you're doing surgery, they make you NPO. They don't allow you to eat anything. So they want to take you off medications that lower blood sugar so that you don't get hypoglycemia, because that's at least uncomfortable and sometimes dangerous.
All right.
Let's try this. Aha! There he is. Okay, how are we going to do this without?
Oh, we got him.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. No, I'm going to remove him as a panel.
Okay. Hello. 1 second. I got to figure this out. I got
Feedback.
Mute. Okay, this might work. Can they hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Hey, everyone. It's Chris Boardman, our buddy from Indiana.
Hi,
Chris,
guys.
hello. Welcome.
I'm gonna turn the
Thanks.
sound down on my computer.
This is the now infamous Chris with the story that he shared on our YouTube channel. That if you haven't watched his testimonial yet, it is fantastic, and you might want a box of Kleenex. At least I did. But no, it was great. And to hear your story, Chris, you were definitely one of the highlights for this entire webinar and this past year. So we love you.
Yes. Love you guys, and thanks so much. You all mean a lot to me. I love getting to see all of you together, and I watch the YouTube channel over and over. I find it not only informational, but also quite entertaining.
Well, that's good. We try to keep it fun. Nice shirt, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sitting here with my leg off, relaxing, eating my lunch. Me and Dr. Saunders so we did a bunch of blood testing, and everything's going good. We're tweaking a few things with his help, and going to do another round of tests to see how the subtle changes are working.
Awesome.
So
Great.
all good.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Happy 100, and thanks so much for all that you do.
Oh, thank you very much.
Chris.
We love you, and we love to help you out and work, like see the progress in your life, and see you out shark fishing with your grandkids and all sorts of other mischief. Blowing up fireworks. That was hilarious. All right.
I'll try to keep it up.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you very
Chris.
much.
Bye, Chris.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Well, that was fun. Okay. Now I can unmute myself. There we go. Okay. Are we back? I think. Can you hear? Okay. All right. Awesome. Let's get to another question if we have some.
I have one ready unless Leslie doesn't. Paul,
Should iodine be taken daily or weekly?
Okay, that's a good question. If you're acutely ill, the ivermectin is taken daily for 5 days. But if you're just you want to do prevention, then you take a dose every other week. Actually, is for prevention. In Peru, the people that were taking ivermectin every other week, they had not one single case of coronavirus.
Wow.
Crazy. Okay, that's awesome. How about iodine?
Iodine is the one thing that there isn't a single organism that is resistant to iodine. So iodine is really good for killing organisms. It's for infections. It's used topically primarily, but I don't know of how beneficial it is once you get the coronavirus or a COVID-19 infection. I don't know how useful it is.
I think Cheryl, you maybe asked a question that I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. I didn't know if you were ready for a question. Paul writes, I have been in phase 1 for about 7 months. I still have trouble getting my fasting glucose readings into the hundreds range consistently. Would a bone broth protocol accelerate my progress? I'm open to any advice that you give.
Oh, that bone broth protocol is actually very useful because remember that type 2 is a problem of too much. And so very often when people are on phase 1 of the program, they're used to eating a lot. And so they cut out the carbs, the simple sugars, and they add in more like fat or something like that. And fat still makes you resistant to insulin. So doing something like taking everything out and just doing bone broth for a while is very useful. These kind of cleanses, you guys, I can't tell you how good this is. When your stomach is empty, your body repairs. So the more you have an empty stomach, the better. So something like bone broth goes through your stomach pretty quickly and leaves your stomach empty for a longer period of time than other foods might. So if you're having I had somebody who was on a strictly ketogenic diet and was eating meat and a few vegetables, a lot of meat and a few vegetables, was gaining weight and getting worse. And it turns out he was really sensitive to the protein. So the high protein diet was a problem for him. So doing something like bone broth or a cleanse, or if you do one of those celery juice cleanses, I had somebody do recently. I've had several do the herbal tea cleanses where you're just drinking herbal teas for a couple of weeks. Those kind of things, they're wonderful and they really work well.
Thank you.
Good. Well, hey, I'm going to jump in really quick. I guess we've had some questions about the coupon code. So just a reminder, today only, you will get $100 off of a purchase of $150 or more at bartonnutrition.com. And I guess some people have had trouble with the coupon code. And just to clarify, it's episode 100, all one word. So episode 100 to take advantage of that coupon there. And then just a reminder too, that we have the giveaway that's going on top of that, which is at bartonpublishing.com/win. And Leslie, can we put those in the chat? Okay, so we'll get those in the chat. So if you can see the chat, you'll be able to just grab that coupon code. It'll make it super easy. We'll put which website that is for to clarify that as well. So just wanted to bring that up.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay, Dr. Saunders, someone did ask about iodine though, if you should take it every day or every other week, or how do you recommend taking that?
Okay, iodine is really easy to get. You don't need very much of it. The problem is it's not in our food. So 100 years ago, they found out that these goiters, people that were having enlarged thyroids, was caused by a lack of iodine. They're going, oh my gosh, like there's no iodine in our food because the soils don't contain iodine. So the source of iodine was like sea kelp or seaweed because they concentrate iodine. There's no iodine in salt unless it specifically says iodized salt. So if you have Himalayan salt or sea salt or kosher salt or whatever kind of salt you have, there's not likely any iodine in it. So a supplementation of iodine, if you're not eating seaweed or anything like that, is a very good idea. In fact, very important. A recent study about 10 years ago in women and in young women, high school students in the Midwest, they found 12% of them already had goiter as high school students because of a lack of iodine. So it's rampant in our society, and we're told, not to eat too much salt, and most people don't buy iodized salt anyway. So, but it's really easy to get if you eat one of those packets of seaweed, those seaweed chips, for example. That's 5 milligrams of iodine. If you just did one a week, that's plenty. So if you take a large amount, then your thyroid gland and the glands in the breast for women and other glands in the body just suck up the iodine. Whatever's not sucked up is you just pee out. So if you took 50 milligrams, it's probably about the same as taking 10 milligrams. So the amount isn't a big deal, pretty much, but a weekly dose is fine. So in Barton Nutrition, we have the liquid iodine, and 1 dropper a day would be fine. If you did 2 droppers a week, though, you'd probably get about the same benefit from it.
And you just take the dropper and do you put it in water, or do you just put it right in your mouth, or what's
either way? It's it doesn't taste bad at all. I use it.
Brian Z said he tried the wasabi seaweed chips that you recommended. He loved them.
Ah, yay! I love those.
There's a question from Mike. Dr. Saunders, I'm following the recommendations and taking Misinochroma. My quick question is, how do we get rid of the diabetic boils? Dermatologist has little to offer, meds, of course. Thank you and God bless.
Diabetic boils. Diabetic boils. Okay. And that would be skin lesions, right? Diabetic boils. That's probably a staph infection. The way to get rid of a staph infection is make sure you have good probiotics, the right kind of bacteria, and then make sure your immune system is functioning well. You have enough zinc and vitamin D and vitamin C. And then if you have a lot of them, that's folliculitis, if it's like in your armpits or whatever, you may need antibiotics. See, there's a good medication. Antibiotics are very useful sometimes.
Okay, let's see here. Meg says, can you explain the urine albumin creatine test showing an undetectable result and its implication? Thank you.
Yay! Okay, that urine test is very important, and that is how much protein, albumin is protein, how much protein are you leaking out through your urine? So the kidney is a filter, and it's like a coffee filter. And people that have diabetes, when they don't have good energy systems in their kidneys, when they're not getting enough energy to repair their kidneys, it's like you have a coffee filter and somebody takes a pin and pokes a bunch of holes in your coffee filter, and you're getting kind of this sediment out in your coffee, right? That is what's happening in your kidneys. So that albumin test is looking for, are there any holes in your filters that are leaking the proteins out into the urine? And there should be zero. So the fact that you had zero, excellent, means you have no holes in your kidneys. It means your kidneys are functioning well, they're filtering properly, and you don't have any sediment in your coffee.
All right. Okay. Coney is wondering, how much bone broth do you recommend, and do you prefer chicken or beef?
Okay, I've done both. For beef, I use like a beef shank, and I put a couple of them in a big pot and boil it for a little while, and it makes a great broth. But I just flavor them differently. And for chicken, I take a whole fryer and put it in the big pot and simmer it overnight, and then I take it out and take all the meat off and make chicken enchiladas for the kids or something. And then I put the bones back in and simmer them for another day, and then I spice it. So for me, either way is fine. It's the spice. So I put salt, pepper, and I found that if I don't chop celery into it, it doesn't really taste good. There's something about that celery that makes a big difference. And then onions and garlic. So that's kind of the basic broth. And then on top of that, I may add, like sometimes I'll do a turmeric, kind of like a curry type of broth. Other times I'll do more like a Mexican pepper kind of broth. So it just depends. I have oregano and rosemary growing in my garden. So sometimes I'll put a bunch in it. I found it takes a lot. You know, when you have dried oregano, I don't know why it's more potent. The fresh oregano, I have to chop like the whole sprigs of it and chop it in there, but it makes a really good broth. So the spices is what makes the difference, but I like them both.
All right. Let's see. Glenn said he had to step away from the webinar for a bit. When do you take the ivermectin? When you get COVID or to prevent it?
Okay. Yes. If you get COVID, there's a 5-day protocol. You take it every day for 5 days. If you've been tested positive, that's what I do for my patients. And it's worked very well, by the way. And the prevention is 1 dose every other week.
Okay. Steve is wondering, how do you know if you are insulin resistant or something else?
Good question. Do the test. because so many doctors don't do testing and they just say, oh, you have diabetes, and they don't even know if your pancreas is working or not. They don't know if you're insulin resistant or you have some other thing. So the test is make sure you check insulin levels and C-peptide levels. Insulin is sort of an immediate test. C-peptide gives you a little more how your pancreas is functioning, or if you're putting out enough. Because you can have type 1 diabetes and make no insulin at all, or type 1.5, where you make a little bit of insulin, but it's not quite enough for how much you're eating. And that gives you different options depending on what it is. Or some people are so insulin resistant. I've had people with their insulin, which should be around 5, like over 100. And they're so insulin resistant that it's as if they had none at all. So each of those is a very different animal and how they're treated.
Okay, we have like 2 minutes left with Dr. Saunders, so we'll do another question here. Meg is asking, she's taking a course of doxycycline antibiotics via dermatology, 1 for 2 weeks to see if it helps. What level of probiotic replacement is necessary, and after each dose? Is there likely to be a change in blood sugars? She doesn't think she's taken that before.
Okay. Doxycycline is an antibiotic, broad spectrum, but it's also anti-inflammatory. So if there's inflammation related to the diabetes, you actually may find your blood sugar going down and not up. On the other hand, if you're killing off the bacteria in your intestines that are helping your blood sugar to be normal, then you may find it goes up. So people are different, and it just depends on you as an individual. So the question is how much probiotics? It's a good idea to take a very high dose probiotic. So they have them like 250 billion, which really isn't a lot. There's considering the trillions, hundreds of trillions of organisms that are in your intestines, and you're taking these tiny, like 1%, 1/10 of 1% in your 100 billion organisms. But anyway, so taking a high dose one for a period of time. There was a study done that shows that by doing the probiotics after the antibiotics, you tend to get more of the type of probiotic that you take back again. So they continue to grow in your intestines more. So it does work. So probiotic, especially has lactobacillus in it, pretty high dose while you're on the antibiotic. People used to think, well, don't take it while you're on the antibiotic because the antibiotic will kill it off. No, actually, there's a portion of them, there's a percentage of them that are, but that will grow.
Is that similar to diatomaceous earth?
No, diatomaceous earth, that's an entirely different thing. Diatoms are little creatures. They make this silica like sand, and the diatomaceous earth is a powdered silica that is a filter, and it actually holds on to organic materials and prevents them from being reabsorbed into the body. Toxins, especially. That's a great way of detoxifying.
All right. Well, we are at that time, so we're going to let you go, Dr. Saunders, for
all right.
Next
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
100 episodes.
All right. We're going to stay on for a little bit here. So somebody asked, what is this 100 episode thing you're talking about? So this is the 100th time, technically 101st, but
No.
I mean, we had 99.5 last week because I was gone and we couldn't do this celebration. But 100 times we've done the fixed blood sugar webinar. I think it started as the diabetes reversal webinar, and then it was the Barton webinar, and now we've landed on the fixed blood sugar webinar, which is more compliant for the 3-letter institutions that may be watching over our shoulders. You never know. But anyways, yeah, that's what that is. We're celebrating episode 100. 100 weeks in a row.
Right to the party.
There we go. So just as a reminder, we do have a couple specials for you guys. If you go to bartonpublishing.com/win, that is WIN. Yes, that is where you can sign up to win, get your entries in for 10 different $100 free prize giveaways for bartonnutrition.com. And if you're eager and don't want to wait, to see if you won and you just want to order some stuff today, you can get $100 off if you spend $150 if you use the coupon code. Let's hear it.
Episode 100.
100.
Yes, 100.
How are we announcing the winners?
How do we announce
Are
the
you gonna
winners?
Email them
I will email the winners.
and probably announce it on the
And
next
if they
one.
go to that website, it will show them there at the end of the 5 days. Yeah.
Very good. So
You
get
are,
those
you
entries
are.
in.
He's got it.
Yeah, we got it all figured out. I hope you guys enjoy and appreciate that. And so somebody mentioned digestion. We have a healthy gut support product that is super good. Highly recommend it. That's probably the one we take the most in our family, isn't
I was
it?
going to say we
Yeah.
take that a lot in our house.
Yeah, that's been really helpful. So, all right, everybody. So I think we're going to wrap up here. We didn't quite get to all the questions, but we did our best. And that's a reminder: go to our YouTube channel because we've recorded all of these episodes, and you can go back and watch them and hear some of the other 2,000 plus questions that have been answered by Dr. Saunders. And so it's a wealth of information there. And, the more you learn, the more you educate yourself, the more healthy you can be. So, all right. Any last words?
Don't think so.
No? All right. Well, we're going to go. I have to feed these guys now, at least the locals. So I don't know. I'm thinking today would be a great day for fasting. What do you think? We got to practice what we preach. That's one of our core values, right?
Need some bone broth.
Yeah, right.
Right. I could probably go find some bones in the woods. Maybe
Yeah.
some deer carcass. Boil that up. So, okay. Well, thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Great spending time with you again. We'll see you next time on episode 101.
Bye.
Mm.